And we're live. Okay. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers. Shout out to the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the crossing guards. Shout out to the school teachers. Shout out to law enforcement personnel, medical field personnel, military personnel. Shout out to whatever your job description is. Shout out to you. Shout out to every single clean hearted, good hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. Don't let that go over your head. You're a good person. Shout out to you. Shout out to Audrey Wright. Thank you for being the first one in this morning. Shout out to Miss Goldie Robinson. Thank you for being here. Lovely Aneka is in the building with us right there. Fellow content creator sister. Go over to Lovely Aneka's channel. Click on her name. Go over to her channel. Hit the subscribe button. You don't have to tell our SouFLoTV sent you because she hear me sending you. But just go on over there and share the love. All right? Keep it in the family. Unstoppable Josh, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Deon Ricketts is in the building with us this morning. Nance is in the building with us this morning. Mervyn Point, Jamaica Kerr says blessings all family. Jay Robinson is here. Senior Sexy is in the building with us this morning as well. Naisha is here, says good afternoon, SouFlo and family. She must be from the UK. Audrey Wright says hit the thumbs up button as you enter the live, please and thank you. Farron is in the building with us this morning. Sharon Spence is here this morning as well. Trini L. Bay, big up yourself and thank you for being here. Says up, 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 family. Stay warm to Bumbo. I heard there's a blue warning out, a blizzard warning for New Jersey and parts of New York. Shout out to y'all, man. It's cold here in Florida too. It was freezing this morning when I woke up in the house, but I think that's because we didn't put the heat on though. So I don't think we have the kind of cold that you have to worry about. Because I went to the grocery store yesterday and I saw people in flip flops, socks and flip flops and shorts, but they had on jackets, winter jackets. That's the Florida dress code. The weather here is kind of bipolar and confusing, like a lot of the people that live here. So you got to go outside prepared for whatever. It's like it might get warm enough for you to jump in a pool of water today, a pool or the beach. So you make sure you wear shorts and then flip flops and socks, slides. But you got to keep up top warm just in case it doesn't get warm and it stays cold all day. So that's a Florida dress code. Sharon Ingram is in the building with us today. Thank you for being here. Charlene Allen says, good morning, everyone here online. Blessings unto you all and peace. Who else is here? Jenny Duncan is with us. Julie Tapper is with us. Let me see. Anthony Vaz is with us this morning. Banchus is here. Bad Dolly 261. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Bad Dolly 261. Two in my area. 2 what? 2 degrees. Yeah, you can keep that. Minus it in Detroit. Minus in Detroit. Closed, started. Schools are closed. You guys are freezing till the schools are closed. In Georgia, it's cold too. 45 in Central Florida. Yeah, that's cold for us. That's super cold for us in Florida. But the kids are off to school. It's over. Martin Luther King Day was yesterday. What we got to talk about this morning. First of all, let me start off like this. A lady put up a comment yesterday that said, could you just get to the topics? Because last week sometime I tuned in and the topics that were in your topic were in your headlines. You did not discuss any of them. And yet your intro was like 30 minutes long. You don't have to make your intro that long. Just big up who for big up, get to the topics and talk about the topics. People have things to do. This is the reason why a lot of people lose followers. Okay. For you, this is the reason why I continue to gain followers. Have I lost followers? Yes. But there are a million reasons why people lose followers. I've lost followers because I said something that somebody didn't like. And they're like all up and down my timeline. I'm unsubscribing today. You should unsubscribe too. and they leave and they take a few people with them, right? But every time I lose one, it's like I gain 500 for the one I lost. Every time I lose two, I gain 1,000 for the two I lost. So obviously, I'm doing something that resonates with a certain group of people. The goal on social media, my friends, is not for you to find a platform that you can regulate. It's to find a platform that you resonate with, right? Because it's effortless trying to regulate a platform and make it what you want it to be when it's not your platform, or build a platform that you so desire. People have things to do too. I, I hear you. I hear you. And normally I take constructive criticism, but it goes like that. So my style of delivery is how it is. Sometimes we go off course, and there's a reason for that. I spent years in the military doing things exactly by the book, as was told to do, on time. This I don't want to keep doing that. I am trying to decompress. So this is my therapy for me, to come back somewhat to being a civilian, so people are not like, damn, why you so rigid? Why you so stiff? Why you so, So I'm trying to use it for that as well. So bear with me. Sometimes I go off topics and I go into stories, and then I get back on topic. I always discuss what it is. I'm not what it is the topic is. 99% of the time. The 1% of the time I don't get to some of the stuff, I end up changing the topic to match what the discussion turned out to be. Sometimes we freestyle it, and that's life. That's a part of being free, right? That's a part of being free. So pardon me for wanting to feel free. Anyways, big up and thank you for tuning in. And if I lost you, then I lost you. I hope you find a platform that does everything the way you want it done. Good luck. Anyways, here we are this morning. A pastor was gunned down in Jamaica. For those of you who are in the chat room, I shared the video of the pastor. Of course, this is a video that we cannot show on YouTube. And when the story first broke a couple of days ago, I said to myself, what could this be? Like everybody else, why would a good pastor whose wife is also of a religious leader, she's known as pastor as well, a bishop, why would they be targeted and he be gunned down? Maybe it's his past coming back to haunt him. Maybe it's whatever. Well, we have a broader story to that story here today, which is going to put things in perspective, but not only put things in perspective. Remember, I said to my audience, right? I said, karma. Be careful of, man, listen, I can't express this to you enough. Be careful of the energy that you sow. Be careful of the seeds you sow and the energy that you put out into the universe, because you might do something and you might think, nobody saw me do it, but get where with it is all good. That energy is in the universe. It's harnessing power and it's coming back around to you. And when that energy hit, my granny always said, sometimes when you see people getting flogged for something publicly, it's because of things that they've done in private. So not always to hurry to be sorry for everybody, because sometimes it's just for them karma that, they're payback that. So you see a title and a facade. You see pastor, you hear righteous words, Bible thumping, preaching, praying. This man has a past. And sometimes your past catches up with you. Karma spins the block and pays you back. And normally, like I've said, it always pays you back when you least expect it to pay you back. Is when you get your life right. Is when you think you find the person you finally are going to be faithful to know. Is when you're ready to be good. Here comes karma. And the point of this is also this. You can run to church all you want to. You can turn to religion all you want to. The universe is governed by laws that have nothing to do with religion. So go find peace in your religion. But the universe laws will always be in effect. All right? We're going to go through this pastor story real quick. Also this morning, though, we're going to talk about the inauguration yesterday. I watched it on purpose and watched all of it just so I can recap the inauguration. We're going to talk about stuff like the pastor. that preached at the inauguration. We're going to talk about Elon Musk's salute. We're going to talk about Melania Trump's wardrobe. And we're going to talk about some executive orders that Donald Trump has signed into power. And that's where we're doing it this morning. All right. Here we are. You can't please everybody, Julie Tapper. You can't please everybody. That's it. 2025. When I explain myself, Audrey said, you know, Audrey, sometimes we are gonna do a little explanation. We're not argue with people for 2025. If you believe that that's what it is, then okay, go ahead. That's one of the most painful things for me. I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning and spend 3 hours researching and looking and finding and vetting my sources. And then I bring you something and you look at me and go, I know so I go, man. And I say, okay, you know what? Where did you get your information from? Me no know, over one part or one place. Me did hear somebody say, okay, all right, guess what? We not arguing. You believe what you want to believe. I'll believe what I know, and we'll keep it moving that way. So we're not under that this year. All right. I feel like a hypocrite, but one thing Trump said, which I actually agree. Dorothy T, a whole heap of things Trump said that I agree with. Don't call me a hypocrite neither. Dorothy T started out saying, I feel like a hypocrite. I'm sorry, I feel like a hypocrite too. When we hear the man talk yesterday, see, I was like, yeah, yes, for the am I liking some of the stuff that he's dealing with? But didn't I say that though? I said some of the things, things are never all bad. It's never all bad. Even in the most wickedest people, you will find some good in them. You know what I mean? Things are never all, not saying he's wicked, I'm just saying. Even in the worst situations, there's some blessing in it. Even in the wickedest people, there's some good in it. I'm looking to see the goods that are going to come out of what he got going on. And I'm sorry, but I saw a whole lot of good yesterday. When he mentioned the part about homeschooling, and parents who are homeschooling their children will be allowed to spend an extra $10,000 tax-free per year, or write it off in taxes per year, homeschooling your children. And then he will make sure that there are no borders for schools. Like some people, they're regulated by borders. You go sign your child up for a school, they'll ask you, well, where do you live? And you say, I live on 43rd and Lenox. And they're like, well, you're out of your school district. Sorry, we can't accept your child here. Trump says, to hell with that shit. You send your child, pardon my language, I won't say that again. To hell with that mess. You send your children to wherever you see fit for your children to go, wherever that institution may be. Them kind of something that resonate with me. I'm sitting over here like, the part where he said, the United States of America will only recognize 2 sexes. I got me dead. Me peel off of the chair like when you peel banana and the skin them dust. The man said, yeah, and this is by executive order, which means ain't no health professionals out here. They're gonna have to reverse their talk. If you look at Meta, which is like Facebook and all these others, they have taken down or started taking down all the LGBTQ, this, all my pronouns are this, I am a this, but I identify as a that. All that stuff is gone. It's gone. I said to myself, and I said yesterday on Instagram, I said, now don't get me wrong, I believe in people living their lives freely. I was having a problem, and free speech is back. Like, we can free up and say some things now that we were super worried about saying before. And, these kind of things. So check it out, right? Although it's never an issue for me because I don't really care what people do with their life and what their sexuality is, I was always concerned about the ramming it down people's throats. All puns intended. I was always concerned about that. The ramming it down people throat part. Now, you go on and do your thing, but you don't have to ram it down people's throat. You know what I'm saying? And then make it dangerous for people to say, I'm not with that, or I don't agree with that. I'm over here. It became a part in our society where it was exactly like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, one big hairy man stand up in front of you and him I said to you, say, my name is Keisha. Recognize me as Keisha. I identify as a girl. And you're like, bro, you got a big ass beard. Like some of them wouldn't even shave off the beard. You know, them look just like me, yeah. And they're like, yeah, recognize me. Yeah. You know how them sound like them have three voices sometimes? Recognize me as I'm a girl. And if you don't call me that, I'm suing you. And they can take you through the court system. You can lose your job. You can, get fired for your income is messed up. All you're labeled as something phobic, all kind of something just because you say what you saw in front of you. As I was growing up, I was taught that, it walk like a duck, it look like a duck, and it quack like the duck is a duck. Is a duck, yeah. The one over there, so with the big titty, them will go moo and look everything like what we know a cow to be is a cow. Is a so we got to a place where it was like, hi, may I ask how to address you? You couldn't just be like, hey man, listen, hey man, who you calling a man? I'm the grown ass woman. I recognize as a woman. And you get in trouble for that. I thought that was frivolous. I thought that was something that should have never made it that far, but it did. And it was causing a lot of issues in a lot of areas. You know, then came the thing about the bathrooms that although it wasn't but it was happening in some places, like bathrooms were starting to be like public restrooms where everybody can go in there. Nobody saw a whole lot of problems brewing there. Men and women using the same public restrooms. Just I saw two women did a video. They got off the airplane. They're in a new city, and she was like, "Hey, this bathroom has male and female on it." Um, so she started recording, right? And she was like, "Let's go in here and see." So when she went in there, the bathroom had men standing up, peeing like how we do, and all the men were looking at the woman coming into the bathroom, and they were like, "Yeah, go on in," right? That's what most men are gonna do, especially straight men, when good-looking women walk into your damn bathroom when you got your cack out in your hand. I'm like, where are we going with this? Who thought that this was okay? This was a good idea. Remember, they don't have bathrooms that say children. In public bathrooms, you have male or female. So although it may be okay for a grown woman to decide, I'm going in there. Maybe I want to see some sexy ass grown man piss. Or maybe I just want to hold my head straight and go straight to the toilet and use it and get out. That's where my daughter was going to go if she got to use the bathroom. The problem is she's 4. The other one is 10. What's she going to do when that's the bathroom that's available and she walks in and it's some big hairy man there with him teely out in his hand pissing? What if he decides to turn around and flash her with it? You know what I mean? So all these kind of things, man. When he said when he said what he said at the inauguration, I don't even want to repeat it because I know I'm hurting up some feelings this morning. But I'm in a care. The man said by executive order, and the U.S. will now only recognize 2 sexes. I said, damn, somebody get frigged. Somebody get frigged. And it'll only be recognized by what it is that they say you are. A medical doctor said you are at birth on your papers. Your paper says you're a male. That is what we will recognize you as. Says you're a female is no, and sex changes are out. They won't be doing those operations in the United States of America as well, and it comes with a lot. The the blockers that they were issuing to young adults, to children, really, and all these desensitization classes and lessons and all that stuff has gone out the window. I'm a custodian in 2 years now in the middle school. We have feminine napkin containers in the boys' room for the trans. Shaking my head, it's messed up. Another one at Meta at their building, they employ a lot of people. There were tampons in the men's restroom, and I was in the infantry. The only thing we knew to use tampons for is it could be a part of your first aid kit for a sucking chest wound or a gunshot wound. Plug it. That's the only reason a man would want a tampon. But they have other reasons why men. So they made it news yesterday that they removed all those from the men's restroom, and they removed all of the LGBTQ stuff from their platform as well. And they have also removed the guidelines, which you can't say this, you can't say that. So people are now allowed to say again. Remember, I told y'all before, I said, I don't know why black people were rejoicing, because along those lines, while they are able to say, no, you're delusional, you crazy, you ain't no damn woman, you a man. I see a man and I'm going to label you as a man. I'm going to call you a man. I'm going to address you as a man. You're not going to force me to address you as a woman when I see a man in front of me. Now that you're able to say that to people without consequences, they're also allowing people to say, and this comes with freedom of speech, they're also allowing people to say stuff to you that could borderline or be racially motivated and disrespectful. Like they will answer you with 2 monkeys and a banana. Stuff like that, right? You don't have anybody to complain to. The person thinks you're a monkey and you feed on bananas. So it comes with a double-edged sword. But here's it at the end of the day, right? As a person who served in the military, this is one of the lessons I learned as well. And I keep saying the military because it taught a lot of lessons. The lesson I learned is this. Even when we suit up, go to combat, fight, try to keep America this prosperous place of freedom and opportunities that it is, this beacon of hope where so many people from around the world flock here, come here illegally, run off to get here, risk their lives to reach it. When you suit up and you join the military, you march to orders, you find yourself in a place where you could even lose your life because you're on a deployment in a combat zone somewhere. Please remember, we fight for even the person who, when we get home, that person could look us in the face and say to us, nigga, I didn't ask you to go do that for us. This is not your land. And you still have to maintain I did it even for you. Even for you. So that's what freedom of speech is. You understand? Freedom of speech is the right to say whatever you want to say. I didn't put my hands on you. I said what I felt. That's it. Freedom of speech has gone to a whole low in America. Everything is censored and everybody is censored. And you can't say this and you can't say that. Else you wake up tomorrow, your job is gone, your this is gone. Do I want anybody using racial slurs and getting away with it? No, I don't. But do I want people speaking the truth? Yeah, I do. I want people to be able to speak the truth without being punished for speaking the truth. Right? Right. Must if a plug a leak from them. Audrey, you know exactly what them use it for. You know exactly what them use it for. And in Jamaica, when we grew up, we used to hear man say, them people that can't go see, you know. Them man that can't go to sea, swim and go to the water, you know, them we drown. Them bottle will take in all heap of water and then we drown. And I guess that's what they use it for, right? To plug up so they don't leak out. Anyhow. On to something constructive. Don't make me happy. You know one that in my meds this morning, yeah. So there we were watching the inauguration yesterday, and I saw Elon Musk do something like slap y'all with his hand up in the air. And I said, holy shit. It wasn't the inauguration, it was the after show, pretty much. It was still part of the inauguration ceremony, but it was the latter part where Trump starts signing these executive orders on stage. Y'all saw all the black folders with all this. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that he signed, what's his priorities starting off, etc., etc. Well, if you didn't watch it, then you have no part in this conversation. You're just going to have to listen or excuse yourself. So for those who watch, and I told you yesterday, I'm watching it because it's a part of history. Why would you not want to witness a part of history, no matter how bad the part of history is to you? I saw yesterday that a lot of people were trying to get other people to not watch it, not just here, but on other platforms in other places. I'm not watching it today, and I suggest everybody else don't watch it so that it will be the least viewed event in history or the least viewed inauguration in history. One thing I've learned is know where to pick your battles, know where to put your energy, because you will end up expelling all your energy in the wrong places and the wrong direction and the wrong things, and nothing will come out of it. You just expelled a whole bunch of energy for no reason, and sometimes end up robbing even yourself. So there I was watching it, and I told you yesterday, I said I can't talk about it if I don't watch it. So I watched it so I can talk about it. Let's start out with Melania's wardrobe. So there she was, the new first lady. And the first thing I noticed was her hat. And I said to myself, uh, the hat, she looked like she was dressed for a funeral, an Amish funeral. It did not look like it was a celebratory moment. It looked like she was dressed for a funeral. And then I was like, why is she wearing that hat? The hat is broad brimmed all the way around and it fits like this on her face. This is a day in history where you want to be like this. You want your whole face to be seen. You want to be remembered. You want to be taking pictures from every angle of me. I was there. I was that chick. She was like this. Like, don't recognize me. I don't want to be seen, kind of thing. I'm mad I'm even here. And there was a part where Donald Trump went to go give her a kiss, and the broad brim hat. The broad brim hat reminds me of the drill sergeant hat in the army. If you're ever going through basic training, well, for us infantry soldiers, you ever going through basic training and you do one mistake or anything that's considered a disrespect or not in the line up, or if they just want to chew your ass out, you will be suddenly surrounded by like 4 or 5 brown rounds, is what they call them. And them brown rounds will be brimming you. So they use the brim of the hat and they hit you with the brim of the hat like this while they're talking to you. Get your ass up, get up, move, soldier, move, move, move. And you getting that from like 4 or 5 different directions, right? The brim's just bouncing off you. Her brim reminded me of that yesterday because this Trump, he reached it for a kiss and the brim just stopped him like right here. So he was like this close to her jaw, but he couldn't reach it. And his expression was like, you could see the strain in his neck, like he was trying to get under, like he was trying to get under the brim of the hat to kiss her. He was like this, oh, frig it. He couldn't, and he couldn't reach under it. This woman wouldn't even flip the thing up and like kiss her husband in a moment like that. You know, you watch the world's watching him struggle, and he's like, somebody said, okay, now I understand why she now I understand why she wore that hat. She's like, man, I ain't kissing you. They look like they argued at the house before they came to the inauguration. But they always look like they argued at the house before they came out in public, anyways. Sometimes she looked like she's being forced to do it. Like he paid her to be here today. Melania, are you going with me today to the red carpet event? She's like, no, Donald, I'm not. And he's like, well, I'll give you 1.5 and you can go shopping, take the jet. And she's like, okay, I will, but only for an hour. He's like, but it's a 4-hour event and I need you by my side. She's like, okay, well, make that 2.5. Ah, okay. You know, it's like she always looked like, you know, when women look like they don't want to be with you, or they're just with you because of what you're able to provide or who you are, but she's not really into you as a person. Like if you lost everything, you would lose her too. That's the vibe I get from them. And then the dance that they did that I've seen so many different couples do as president and first lady, Theirs was just weird. It was weird. It was kind of like, let me go. Get your hand off my hand. Why are you doing me like this? And did you see when they were dancing, he went for a kiss again? He went for a kiss and she went, I was like, yo, okay, so I'm not seeing things. She did this a couple of times. Your husband, he just became the president again. Yo, one thing about black women, right? If that was us, trust me, your woman want nyam you. Cause right there, so she's like, babe, your body no. Look for your president again. They probably have to tell us, like, keep the kiss to a minute, or we will have to say to each other, be careful not to tongue. Okay, be careful not to exchange tongue. One thing one black woman gonna do is she go suck off a lip or bite a lip or something. She They were like, go watch it. It wasn't a waltz. It wasn't a waltz. Trump is rich and been rich for a long time. Melania too. They know how to waltz. They have preparation moments where dance experts would come in and spend an hour or two with them and say, this is a huge event. The world's going to be watching. Plus, he's been president before. Hold her like this. Okay, place your hand at the nape of her back. Hold her other hand like this. Melania, you're going to have to lock fingers with him or let your hand gently fall into his palms. And you, Donald, you're going to hold her hand like this. Show of affection. And you're going to waltz this way. It's a simple step this way. They look so uncoordinated. Both of them look like just like we did no damn rehearsals. Yep, just going through the motions. I hope this shit finished real quick. And he going for a kiss, and she's like, yeah, nah, that's not in the contract. Just keep going. It'll be over soon. It was uncomfortable to watch. It was uncomfortable to watch. Her wardrobe though was something to see. Every step of the way, it looked like a funeral. It looked like she was at the wrong event. It looked like she just didn't want to be there, you know? And I know I'm not the only one that saw it. Beast Boy, big up yourself. Beast Boy says she mad because remember the first time she had to adjust to the White House. She rather be at home in the mansions. Oh, so she's like, now you got us back in the shack again. Now I'm gonna have to live in this bullshit shack again. Oh, can't stand you, Donald. You and your damn aspirations. Don't kiss me, man. Oh, just know I'm leaving. Every night I'm leaving. Call me for the photo ops. After that, I'm out. I'm in Mar-a-Lago. Okay, that's where I like to be. Could be. Should dress up as the Hamburglar. The outfit wasn't doing it. It was for the wrong event. Morning, SouFLoTV family. Morning, Karen Notice. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. I don't think it's so much you have to adjust to the White House because that's a prestigious position. I think it's so much like when you don't really love somebody but you are with them, it shows. I have never seen that woman display affection for Donald Trump ever. I've never, and that's weird. That's weird. Watching a couple over years, there's got to be a point, even if she's faking it, where she expresses some kind of affection towards her husband. I dare you to find where she has ever displayed affection towards her husband in public. It's just not there. Now, I don't know if that's how she was raised, but I think I'm old enough to know women, to know that when a woman is into a man, her eyes say it. You know what I mean? Her body language says it. When he speaks, the way she responds, she don't need words to respond. If Shakira was sitting right next to me right now, and I'm talking, right, about stuff, and she over there leaning away from me, she giving me side eye, she rolling her eye, or she giving me the back of her head and skin up her face and all that, you would say, damn, I don't think she's not really into SouFLo, you know. I could tell. Look at every video they do. Look how she roll her eye them when him talk. Look how her face look disgusted. Look how she you know, I'm able to read all that from Melania, and I don't know if they will run across this video. Who's this little nobody that's analyzing us like this? But I hope it makes sense, and I hope other women that see it, cause some of the woman wicked enough. You know, we do that to the man, and the man never do no nothing. You know, if you don't want to be with the man, just don't be with the man. But you know how the world goes already. If a man got a lot of things, and you know, money and power is a lot of things, and women are always available to a man who has money and power, even if she don't like him. Even she look like she thinks Donald Breck stinks. Every time he reaches for a kiss, she duck his kiss. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
SouFlo, good morning.
Morning, family. How you doing? Loud and clear.
Good.
Talk to
Quick question. Quick question. Why wasn't Michelle there? Do you know?
Michelle Obama was not there because she does not want to be hypocritical and a part of the facade, pretending, and that's why she wasn't there. Period. Just like how the guy who remember when the vice president the vice president Kamala Harris when they were handing over power, and there was a guy there who was supposed to shake her hand and stuff, and he left her hanging on national TV, put his hands in his pocket. Right. So Michelle Obama felt like, you know, nobody said anything about that. Like, this ain't, I'm not up for this. And she just yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
You too, fam. Yeah, Michelle wasn't the one to fake it. And it's another thing about sisters. Boy, the black woman special enough. She could if you really want to read a room, find the black women in the room and read their faces. Hear me out. I've been black my whole life. I've been around them my whole life. If you really want to know what's going on in a room, I don't care if it's one black woman in there and 10,000 everything else. Find that one black woman in the room and read her face. Even if she is pretending to be a sellout, even if she's up on the wrong side, even if you don't like her, find her and read her face. Her face is going to tell you everything. If Michelle Obama did not want to be there, the best thing for her to do is what she did, and is not be there. Because if she was there, the media would have a field day, because all they would see is Barack. Oh my God. Lips ain't moving. You hear this bullshit? This nigga crazy. When Trump said he's gonna turn the Panama Canal into this, and he's taking it back from Panama, and then he's gonna rename this mountain into that. Black women for you. Them all clap you all right. They're gonna give you claps. Or they'll give you some deep cut eye. Like them fall asleep on you. And then child, please. That ninja crazy. You think she laughing with you, right? She like, that ninja crazy. I bet you didn't hear that. That ninja crazy. Yeah. Just find her and read the room. So Michelle knows she was like, I ain't up for this, Barack, and I ain't going. And Barack knows better than to force her to go where she doesn't want to go. Right? He's been with her long enough to know to know what the consequences are. Well, you got me in this bullshit again. Huh? This is what we're about to do? That'd be an uncomfortable ass ride home, and for the next week you in the guest room. Can't get none, no little loving and affection, no night nurse treatment, no nothing. Barack is like, you know what? I want to keep my home happy. So she says she doesn't want to come. That's okay. I'll go on my own. I'm required to be there. It's a good show of faith. She isn't. So she's home with the kids. What kids? Your kids are grown. Well, the kids are visiting. She's home with the kid. With there for sure. Just like how they scrutinized her at his first inauguration. Exactly. And listen, We're talking about a person who spent, Donald Trump, we're talking about a person who spent years peddling the idea that Barack Obama was not worthy to be president. Let's not forget that. And he's not American, and he is not Christian. He's a Muslim that was born outside of America. Somebody doctored the paperwork, put him in a position of power, you know, as if he didn't earn his way to where he was. And Trump sold that continuously for a long time, just like how he came in the debates with the Kamala Harris stuff and said, oh, conveniently, now she wants to be black, right? He gets to dictate that kind of narrative. That shit rubs Michelle Obama the wrong way. And she's like, I don't want to be around a person like that. And this is his moment. Did you see when he started talking about undoing everything that the Biden administration had put in place and how bad leadership was and how messed up America is and how he is back? God saved him to come back and fix America. I was wondering, why is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris there? Ask wifey. I'm watching it with wifey, right? And I said, I'm mad at Joe Biden right now. She said, why? I said, because Joe Biden could steal the show right now. Just slide down off your chair. You're old. They already think that you got one foot in the grave. Pass out right now on purpose. Just flop and slide out the chair. Make it a medical emergency. Interrupt his speech. Take away the momentum. Get the spotlight on you. Somebody could have done something. That could have been a sign of a silent protest. But they sat there and they listened to this man tear them down as he is exalted. And I'm like, damn, that's a rough place to be. You know, that's like you coming in and you're like, yeah, SouFLo frig up the place for the last 4 years, and I'm here to fix it. Yeah, he was the worst leader you have ever seen. See him sit down right there, so, and and I'm sitting there like, yeah, he's no good. He's a bastard. That dumb. I don't know how you guys even allowed him to become. He's worthless. But I'm here, not your knight in shining armor, and I'm gonna fix everything he frigged up. Thank him for us being so lousy for the last 4 years. Yeah, but I got this from here on out. God saved me, so I can come and fix all his mess. And I'm there like, that was uncomfortable to watch. If I were them, I would not have attended either. But they attended. You see, Karen Notice says they're dignified, right? Here's the thing though. Nobody respects dignified. They dignifiedly gave away the election. that's that's what they did. They dignifiedly gave away the election. So keep the dignified. Nobody respects dignified. When it comes time to fight, you fight. There's a time and a place for everything. And I just feel like they shouldn't have been there. You know, they looked out of place. A lot of the stuff that people were clapping and then standing up for, they didn't stand up for it. I saw Joe Biden stand up one time, and that was when he said the hostages from the Middle East are coming home. Kamala stood up, read the black woman face. Kamala stood up and she was like, Joe, we did that, not him. And Joe Biden took every bit of life out of himself. He looked like, should I get up? I don't want to get up. This the moment I could fall down. Like SouFLo says, forget, I'm getting up. And he got up. When Joe got up, I said, that's going to be his only standing sit, because he don't look like he got too many standing sits. You know, he looked like he about to pass out from that one standing sit. Hi, mommy. Ooh, girly. Ooh, you ready? You ready to go? You ready to go to school? You like your hair? You showing off your hair? Come here. You're not even on the camera. Say hi, everybody. Oh, I like your top. It's cold outside. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. Want to show off your outfit? For those of you who've never been here before, this is a break where we take a 1 minute, 2 minute break and give my little princess Melania her outfit check of the day. She's going off to school. So we're going to do her little outfit check and then we're going to get right back on topic, okay? All right. This is Melania. She's 4 years old. And she's daddy's princess. Hmm?
There's a heart.
You see the hearts? Yeah, they're sending hearts, mommy. For you. Those are for you. Okay, let's do your outfit check. Ready? You gotta stand on daddy. Yeah. Okay, what are we working with today? So we have on this very trendy red with a red hoodie, long sleeve, because it's chilly here in Florida today. I think it says 40 something degrees here too. And that's long sleeve. We're working with some gray sweats today as well, some gray Adidas sweats. And let's show the socks and the shoes, mommy. And some Adidas sneakers with some flowery sockies, red socks to match her hoodie as well, and her suede tiptoe Adidas classics. Down you go. And of course, this beautiful face right here and the beautiful hair all dolled up. All right. You gotta tell these people bye and give me my love up. Say bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Give me love up. I love you. I'll see you later, okay? All right. Want me to come get you with mommy?
Yeah.
Okay. Go have fun. Okay, princess.
I'll go my friend.
You have fun with your friends?
Yeah.
All right. Love you.
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye. Close the door. Thank you. All right. Hold on. Who's this? Oh, this is T95. Okay, T95 South. I appreciate you greatly. T95 South says, "Damn, my partner just texted me that Trump signed a hiring freeze. He's retired from the Air Force and works at Patrick. My son just got hired at Gunman Friday. It begins. Okay, outfit check. It's cold and rainy. All right, T95 South, let's get into what the things that he has signed. Because these are what the things that make shout out to the people who sent out the hearts for her. She recognized the hearts, right? She's reading, but she ain't reading up to par like Kai. Kai reads like a grown person, but she definitely recognized the hearts. So thank you for that. And thank you for helping me to start my baby's day off like that. You know, it actually means a lot to her, right? All right, back to this Trump stuff. We talk later, babe. Melania's wardrobe. We're gonna talk about Trump's executive order. Elon Musk salute. Let's do the Elon Musk salute first before we go into the executive orders. I have some of the executive orders right here in front of me. Elon Musk did a salute that looks very much like the Hail Hitler salute. Now, what's crazy to me is to see so many people excuse it away. So many people excuse away the Elon Musk salute. But here's the thing. My question is, who's going to check him? And the answer to that is nobody. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. The man is worth almost $500 billion. Ain't nobody saying nothing to him. When you have money like that, you have power. When you have money and power like that, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, including throw up that sign at this inauguration event. What that sign said to me was this. It said, listen carefully, that sign was a clear, white men are in power. White men should feel very good right now because their warriors are fighting for them. You got to understand that the United States of America was made for them, right? Even though black people go around and foundational black Americans, as they call themselves, go around saying our blood, sweat, and tears built this. Yeah, you notice it was done by force, right? And it was made for them and their future generations. This is their beacon of hope. This is their shining star. Therefore, this is where you look and you see the true essence of white power. And it's a white man in power that is strong and aggressive and abrasive and, puts on this front. I ain't scared of nobody. And we got a whole lot of money and a whole lot of power. And if we want you moved, we move you, kind of thing. So he was sending that message out like, this is our domain. We are in power and we run this. The most powerful country in the world is now in the hands of powerful, the most powerful white men, period, in the world, but white power represented first. That's what that meant. And I don't care who tried to spin that some other way. It'll never be no other way for me except for what I just said. It's the same salute that was done in many different places by many different groups who represent a certain ideology. And you can go look it up. And it was done in the same manner as described. And not only did he do one, he did two. He did two, like somebody said to him, when you have power and money like that, they in the back laughing and joking. He said, yo, Jason, I'm going to throw up one of the hail salutes. And he's like, the fuck, you're not on national TV? And he's like, yeah, watch me. And he's like, matter of fact, I bet you won't do it. I bet you $1 million you won't do it. That's lunch money for them. I bet you $1 million you won't do it. And he's like, oh, I'll double your bet, Jay. I bet you $2 million I'll do it. And not only will I do it, I bet you $5 million I'll do two of them. Oh my God, the media is going to have a field day with this. Are you crazy? Are you really going to do it? Watch me. Goes out there on the stage. Yeah, does two of them. And then people sit there trying to excuse it away. I don't know if that looks like a Roman salute or it look like two John Crow wing him just throw up, or it look like a picture spread, or it look like man, come on, man. We know what it is. We stop with the Roman salute and the John Crow wing and the picture spread, and we seen what it was. The thing is, nobody could do nothing about it. That's where we are. You can't do shite about it, right? Karen Notice say you could get away with anything anyway, this too shall pass. Yeah, shite. Ain't nobody. Who's going to check him? Name the person that's going to check him. Nobody. So he did what he did, and it goes unchecked. What you should pay attention to, though, is that couple of things. At that inauguration was 99% white. Then it was 0.05% others, Asians, and then another 0.05% black. The 0.5% to 1% of the preacher that was there. He was like the only guy, except for one of the security guys and a guy that was singing in the choir. So you are there for security purposes, or you're there of service, to sing in a choir, or to serve drinks, or guard the doors, or be somebody's chauffeur outside, right? The people who filled the rotunda, they were all white people. Yeah, nasty work. So shout out to the foundational Americans who are like, oh, Kamala Harris ain't no foundational American, and had all these black politicians who were representing this and running for him and campaigning hard for him. You didn't even get a seat at the table, did you? You didn't even got an invitation to come to the damn inauguration, did you? Oh God, damn! They left you all the way out. They left you all the way out, except for the damn preacher. And said, "Hey yo, this is hey yo, God, and look up to the sky and say yo." You see how they were looking at him in the back? There was an Indian-looking guy in the back in a suit that was behind Trump. Even Donald Trump was like, there was an Indian guy in the back that was just, he was like, you know that way you try so hard to hold a laugh and somebody next to you is elbowing you like, stop, we on TV, control yourself. What are you doing? Don't do it here. Oh my God, I want to laugh too. But I'm not gonna do it now. Stop it. The person next to him was throwing elbows like hit the stop, and he couldn't control it. He was like, that was so embarrassing. It was like these ninjas. What? Anytime you ready to get yes sir, yes sir, you master sir. But anytime you ready for that type of show, call the ninjas and they come. They're the best preachers in the world. They're the most entertaining people, you know. And you learn and when I'm like, this guy, I see why he was the only one there. I see why he was the only fly in the buttermilk. But it was a sight to see that you should not have missed, you know. Now let's talk about the things that he signed into power. Because Trump was whipping the pen and he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing at all. First of all, the insurrection, the January 6th, remember when they stormed the Capitol? They took over the place. You know, they whooped the police ass and they frigged up the building. Yeah. Oh, the Buffalo Soldier says, sounds like he was trying to call Martin Luther King back from the grave. It was just a poor Martin Luther King impression, really. You know, he was trying to recreate a moment, you know. And all heaven and earth shall sing, and the day will come close away. I'm like, oh my God, bro, just, ah. But you know, when that check hit right, I'd have been like that too. How much they paid you? 1.5. You ever made 1.5 in a year before? Nope, but I did this year. Yo, Mel says the new HUD Secretary Clarence Thomas, Tim Scott, and Byron Donalds for sad AF. He basically stole a big old piece of Martin Luther King's speech and tried to like remix it on the spot. That's probably why Trump was like, hold up, this ninja going in. But I like it. I like it. It's very entertaining. And the people behind him just couldn't help themselves. They were laughing so hard. Trump signs sweeping actions on immigration and the border security on day one, among other things. President Trump kicked off a slew of executive actions related to immigration in a signing ceremony at the Oval Office. Since the early days of 2024 presidential campaign, Trump has vowed to begin his second term with both new and old efforts to curb legal migration and to deport those who are in the U.S. without legal status or those who he deems unfit to be here. You could be here off legal status, but they still can find you unfit to be here. That's simple, right? Okay. He signed a series of actions that are related to the border on Monday, including realigning the refugee admission program, designating the cartels, as foreign terrorist organization, declaring a national emergency at the southern border, and ending automatic citizenship to children who were born in the U.S. to parents who don't have legal status. So shout out to those, because me hear about this before. what them used to say, all you have to do, my girl, and breed. When you go over there, just find a boy and breed. You don't have to marry nobody. Make sure say you breed. First, have your picnic part American style. That means say your picnic a citizen, them can't send you home. It's a new day. It's a new day. That don't fly no more at all. If you are out of status and your child is born in the United States of America as of this point, your child does not automatically get to be American citizen, even though they're born here. Now, I must tell you that this is ruffling a lot of feathers, and because a lot of lawyers are now looking at this as constitutional, you breaching somebody's constitutional rights, because the Constitution says, a part of it says that if you were born on American soil, then you have birthright citizenship, right? But they've remixed it under Donald Trump, and he has executively signed that into order that it will not fly. So you have that baby here. When they decide that it's time for you to go, mama, if they decide it's time for you to go, you take your little American born baby with you. That baby comes from where the daddy or you come from. So if the daddy is Jamaican, that baby Jamaican. If you Panamanian, Ecuadorian, or Venezuelan, whatever you are, that's what the baby is too. All right. Don't care what SouFlo said. I didn't watch it or wanted to, and I can't stand that man. All right, Karen, that's you. Audrey Wright says, "What does the man care about your constitutional rights? Nothing." That's the answer. Nothing. He signed a series of actions. So since he signed a series of actions related to the border on Monday, including realigning the refugee admissions program, designating the cartel as a foreign terrorist organization, declaring a national emergency at the southern border, all that we're going to get to talk about in a minute, and ending automatic citizenship to children who were born in the US, to parents who don't have legal status. Controversial constitutional question that is likely to face immediately backlash and legal challenges, as there will be a lot of lawyers who are advocates running to the courthouses to file paperwork to try to fight against this. Guess what? Donald Trump ain't no dummy. He already stacked each level with all he needs for anything he needs to go through those levels and come out in his favor. Understand that. Our southern border is overrun by cartels, by criminal gangs, by known terrorists, by human traffickers, smugglers, and unvetted military-aged males from foreign adversaries, and illicit narcotics that harm Americans. This according to one of Trump's speeches, signed that declared a national emergency at the border. That view offers an exaggerated view of the current conditions at the border. But, you know, that's how he speaks. The US, if you listen to this speech, you would think that all that's sitting at the border is like men who are military aged, who are coming in here to form terrorist cells, and foreign countries opened up their prisons and said, go. And now they're all bunched up at the borders, killers, rapists, murderers, waiting to come into the US. That was the picture that was painted, but that's not exactly the story that's happening really on the ground, right? The US has seen an increase in border crossing under the Biden administration, at times reaching the all-time high, but Customs and Border Protection recent numbers have shown a sharp decline in unauthorized apprehensions in the past 6 months alone. Remember when I said if they did not fix the border, they were going to give the election away to Donald Trump? I said I don't see Trump winning the election, but if they don't fix the border, and I also said I am for migrants coming into the US, finding a path to citizenship or permanent residency. However, from a military perspective, it sits uneasy with me that the border was that open, because anybody could be coming in. Truthfully, you can have all your enemies coming in and forming different cells in different states and then they can coordinate a hit. We all detonate on the same day. Choose a random date. February 13, 2025. And it's boom over here, boom over there, boom, boom in all 40 in all states, right? What could we do then, or how would we respond to that then? So I was looking at it from that perspective as well, right? And so I'm straddling the line there almost, because I'm very much for immigrant. I am from an immigrant community, etc. But if they didn't fix that, that was going to be a part of why they gave the election away to Donald Trump, right? I said that outright, just like this. Here we are. It was a big issue all throughout, and I said it before the election campaigns even came around. So it was a big issue for everybody, a big concern for everybody, and here it is. Incoming border czar Tom Homan also said large-scale raids to deport and detain those here without legal status, those here who are considered criminal, those here who are seen as unfit to be here, will begin today, Tuesday, focusing primarily first on people who are considered to be a security or a safety risk first. Now, here are the executive actions that officials previewed. The order will allow the U.S. Armed Forces to finish the border wall by directing the Defense and Homeland Security Secretaries to erect physical barriers at the border. It will also allow the Defense Secretary to deploy members of the Armed Forces and the National Guard to the border. Second one, clarify the military role when it comes to border. The order seeks to clarify the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States, adding that it is the policy of the United States to ensure that the armed forces, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, you name them, of the United States prioritize the protection of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the United States along our national borders. The border invasion, a greater role for the military in border security, including directing the Defense Secretary to deliver a plan for deploying U.S. Northern Command forces to the border. Alicia says Biden should have walked out when he said all that ish about him. I said Biden should have just been sick, on command, just slide out the chair and just, they would have had to stop. They would have had to give him medical attention. They would have had, he could have stole the moment. But like somebody said earlier, they're dignified people. Officials said that they're also planning to end the policy known as catch and release. There will be no more catch and release because that was signed off yesterday, which released those without legal status from detention while they await an immigration court hearing. What they were doing, they would bring people, they would collect their information, biometrics, data, and then they would release them. Go find a family member to be with, or go get on some government assistance somewhere, or wherever you can find help. I don't know. Pitch a tent and sleep in the park. But keep this date, or we'll keep your information and your location, and we'll call you when it's time for they're not doing that no more. You will not be caught and released anymore. You will be caught and detained. The actions will also reinstate remain in Mexico, which would require some asylum seekers at the southern border to wait in Mexico for their hearing in U.S. immigration courts. And it would direct the U.S. to build a wall along the southern border faster. Now, what that means is, you see all them people that were coming through? Under the Biden administration, they wanted more personnel at the border, and the suggestion was that we can vet everybody at the border. So we would have holding camps at the border. We would vet everybody at the border. Those who are deemed unworthy would be released back into Mexico to go back wherever they came from through Mexico, and those who we deem in need of asylum, etc., worthy to come in, we would let them into the US. It was the Republicans who said, no, we ain't sending no more bodies down there. So without the staff to do that, the borders remained the way they were, and people just kept coming in. With that happening, now they're saying, listen, we ain't doing no catch and release. You come here, you get caught, you going into lockup, period. Furthermore, we'll be robustly rolling out the bodies now to go secure that border, to put up temporary barriers until we finish building the actual wall. And from here on out, this is what it's going to be. You stay your ass in Mexico, and you can wait in Mexico until you're called. No longer letting you wait here in the US, deciding if you want to go or not. And the reason they do that is because a lot of people would be here in the US and then they would run. And they take it too long to call me, Holmes. I don't think they're gonna call me. I think they're about to like send me back anyways. So boom, I'm gonna dip down to Florida. I'm in Colorado, but I'm gonna dip down to Florida, disappear off the radar. They can't find me. So they said, okay, how about you just don't come in? The part where they designate the cartel as criminal terrorist, that's understandable. You know, the cartel, they're how should I say it? The Trump White House designated criminal cartels and others as foreign terrorist organization and as specifically designated global terrorists. Two separate legal definitions. This allows the US now to more easily remove members of certain groups, like the Tren de Aragua, transitional criminal organization from Venezuela, or MS-13, which is known to be a dangerous gang faction that works with the cartels. They carry out their hits, they transport their drugs, they do all that other stuff. The order is also meant to enhance the vetting and screening process across agencies, which White House officials had earlier mentioned as a separate action. They have suspended refugee settlement. This order temporarily suspends the U.S. refugee admission program, starting from January 27th until such time as further entry into the United States of refugees align with the interest of the United States. No more refugees coming in. That cut. End asylum and close the border to those without legal status via proclamation. So the White House officials on a call with reporters earlier on Monday also said that a part of the plan is to end asylum entirely and close the borders. So you can stop coming to the US saying I'm seeking asylum because me a Batman in my country and them not like Batman. Or whatever the reason you are seeking asylum for. I don't know, you're running for your life. Somebody wants to kill your family. They're ending asylum. Part of this plan is to close asylum entirely and close the border to those who do not have legal status via the proclamation, which creates an immediate removal process without possibility of asylum. If asylum is closed, those here seeking asylum are in danger as well. Because asylum is closed, this now creates an immediate deportable individual. The officials spoke on conditions of, please don't say my name, to preview the actions. Donald Trump earlier on Monday rescinded a Biden order on asylum seekers. He undid it. Biden had something set up in place for the asylum seekers. This is one of the things that Donald Trump immediately got rid of. And then 7, end birthright citizenship. The order aims to end the birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution since 1868 and provides the right to citizenship for children who are born in the U.S. That was since 1868, regardless of their parental legal status. Now, in an interpretation of the amendment clause of subject to jurisdiction thereof, quote unquote, that order, which takes effect in 30 days, will narrow who can get U.S. citizenship based on the legal status of their parents. This is all immigration we're talking about this morning. This action to change the interpretation of that amendment is likely to see legal fights and challenges, but while it is wrapped up in court with advocate lawyers fighting to get it overturned, changed, this will be the law. And a lot of people will be deported under this law before they are able to even fix it again, if they are ever able to fix it back to what it was before. Guarantees states protection against invasion. The proclamation Trump issued is suspending the physical entry of alien involved in an invasion into the United States across the southern border until I determined that the invasion had concluded. Those individuals who came in the other day under the Biden administration, they just walked in across the border. Donald Trump already said it during his campaign that every one of those persons are considered illegal to him. They are considered invaders that came in illegally. He doesn't give a damn who told them come on in. His priority is to get each and every one of them back out. Protect American citizens against invasion and restore the death penalty is another one. This action directs the general to seek capital punishment for the murder of law enforcement officials and capital crimes that are committed by those without legal status to be in the United States of America. So if you're an illegal alien and you're caught here and you're caught up in any kind of crime where it involves the loss of life for a law enforcement official or any American citizen, you should automatically be facing the death penalty. So as you know, this is about national security, and this is about public safety, and this is about the victims of those of the most violent, abusive criminals that we've entered into our country in our lifetime. And it ends today, he said. Capital punishment is legal at the federal level. President Biden had pledged to abolish it, though he never worked with Congress on legislations to do so. Biden did commute 37 of the 40 men who were on federal death row to life without parole last month. Trump has now reinstated the federal execution. During his term in 2019, after a 17-year pause. So it again goes into effect. I don't know if the persons who Biden just pardoned and took off death row are going to be back on death row, but we know that Trump made sure that it's reinstated and that executions will continue at the federal level. Now, what they're asking us to remember is that these changes may take time, but some of these changes are going into immediate effect, right? Philly Yard Vibes, big up yourself. Philly Yard Vibes says, you don't know who voted for him. Stop letting the media telling you to love and who to hate. Malcolm X. Yeah, Philly Yard Vibes, yeah, whatever that means. You have to explain that to me more better. The phone lines are open. You could call in and say, I don't understand what that means. You don't know who voted for him. Stop letting the media telling you who to. At this point, it doesn't matter who voted for him. At this point, it does not matter. It does not matter who voted for him. Yes, people are trying to divide other people. Oh, you voted for him. You caused this. Whatever. You are right in a sense. We don't know who voted and who didn't vote for him. There are people out here who are acting like they voted for Trump, though, when they didn't, because it's the right thing to do for them now. Is to pretend I was a Trumper all along because shit, he's in power. So why would I pretend like I was against him all along and he won? This might come back to haunt me. And then there are people who are hardlined and who are standing on it. So, but that's neither here nor there now. What's more important now is the list of things that are going to be in effect. that are going to be governing our lives from here on forward for at least the next 4 years, right? Chris H, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you. Chris H says, SouFlo, please mention Trump's cancellation of the EV 2030 mandate, drill baby drill initiative. People are celebrating in the UK due to this. Okay, which brings us to this. Off of immigration, still some immigration here, but a broader look at the things that he actually holds as his priority. This is priority list, right? President Donald Trump began his promised flurry of executive actions on day one. You see the black folders. He kept signing and signing away. He was signing them on the stage. With the opening round of memoranda and executive orders, Trump repealed dozens of former President Joe Biden's actions. Dozens. He began his immigration crackdown. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord, and he sought to keep TikTok open in the U.S. Among other actions, he pardoned hundreds of people for their role in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. I think it was 1,500 of them. Here's a look at some of Donald Trump's initial actions and his upcoming plans, right? Outside of the immigration. First, he starts with a pardon for the January 6 U.S. Capitol attack. As he promised repeatedly during 2024 campaign, he issued a pardon late Monday for about 1,500 people who were convicted or criminally charged in that January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol as Congress convened to certify Joe Biden's 2020 victory over Trump. Separate, Trump ordered an end to federal cases against political opponents of the Biden administration. He ordered an end to federal cases against all the political opponents of the Biden administration. Opponents of the Biden administration, meaning Trump supporters. All Trump supporters who have a federal case open against them, switch, gone. Federal cases closed. He said Monday that he would end the weaponization of federal law enforcement, but his actions seemed targeted only to help the people who backed him. The economy, another one. So, in a made-for-TV display at Capital One Arena on Monday evening, Trump signed a largely symbolic memorandum that he described as directing every federal agency combat consumer inflation by repealing Joe Biden's actions and adding his own orders. Trump is easing regulatory burdens on oil and natural gas production, something he promises will bring down the cost for all consumer goods. Trump is specifically targeting Alaska for an expanded fossil fuel production. This is where the drill baby drill thing came in. On trade, the president said that he expects to impose a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico starting February 1st, but he declined to flesh out his plans for taxing Chinese imports. These are the U.S. biggest trading partners. Common sense would tell you that if those people have to pay more to get their goods into the U.S., then the people who are purchasing those goods from them at wholesale level to sell it retail to the U.S. people, the consumers, they are going to have to pay a higher price to get those. Now, in order for them to make a profit, they're going to have to increase their prices at the counter level, at the shelf level in stores in the US for us, the buyers. That's how business works, right? I don't know how they see this as it's supposed to help us, and make prices go down, but we will see how this goes. Maybe they have a plan in mind I know nothing of. On trade, the president said that he expects to impose a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico starting February 1st. Trump also signed an order intended to pause Congress's TikTok ban for 75 days. Remember, they said that he could do it for up to 90 days. He did it for 75 days. So TikTok now has 75 days to figure out if they want to give America 50% ownership, like he suggested, or they want to pack up and leave town, or maybe they will work something out different behind the scenes. A period in which the president says he will seek a U.S. buyer in a deal that can protect national security interests while leaving the popular social media platform open to Americans. And of course, the Supreme Court has already said it is a national security issue, and that's why they stood with the ruling to ban it unless it is sold to an American owner. So if Trump can fulfill that part, making it safe in the eyes of the Supreme Court, then it'll be able to stay here. As he did during his administration, Donald Trump is pulling the US out of the World Health Organization. We're no longer a part of who? The World Health Organization. He also ordered a comprehensive review of US foreign aid spending. Both moves fit into his more isolationist America first, quote unquote, approach to international affairs. In more symbolic moves, he planned to sign an order renaming the Gulf of Mexico, making it new name the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico, to be renamed into the Gulf of America. The highest mountain in North America, known as Denali, will revert back to its name before that, which is Mount McKinley. Its name, until President Barack Obama changed it from Mount McKinley to Mount Denali. And you can go look up the reason why President Obama changed the name. I believe it has something to do with the things that McKinley had done and what he stood for. And under President Obama, it was like, you remember that period where they were knocking down statues? They were doing it in Europe too. They were knocking down statues of all the individuals who they thought were racist and hired and kept racist ideology and did not represent a oneness or a unity or anything. And they would knock those statues down and they would have to erect new things in the meantime. Yeah. So he immediately redid that. McKinley was a great man and he did great things for our history. Put him back up there and take down that damn name about Denali, whatever. Trump signed an order that flags must be at full height at every future inauguration date. The order came because former President Jimmy Carter's death had prompted flags to be at half staff. Now, it wasn't only Jimmy Carter's death. Everybody else before him, the flag was always at half staff. If you walk out in the middle of the day and you see a flag at half staff in the United States of America, you usually wonder first, who passed away? Somebody prominent has passed away. So you go figure out who it was. He said, now, we will never fly that flag at half staff. That flag must be fully flown at all times. Trump demand they be removed on Monday. Another Trump order calls for prompting beautiful federal civic architecture. Fly the flags, full staff at all times. For immigration and national security, Trump reversed several immigration orders from Biden's presidency, including one that narrowed deportation priorities to people who commit serious crimes. Under Joe Biden said, if they didn't commit any serious crimes, they're not criminals. We have any proof of them being in criminal activities or acting as criminal-minded people. These are just people who want better for themselves and their family. They want to come to America to achieve the American dream. Give them space. So we're only looking for criminals to deport. That's under Biden. Under Trump, it's like, nah, that ain't the only reason. So he has reversed several immigration orders, including the one that narrowed deportation priorities to people who commit serious crimes, are deemed national security threats, or were stopped at the border. Anybody could get it. It returns the government to Trump's first term policy that everyone in the country illegally is a priority for deportation. No criminal over you, no you over criminal because you overstayed. You're just like them. You're going to be treated just like them. And that's what we're back to. Remember I said this? I said Donald Trump had a chance before to be president, and he was. But he didn't accomplish everything on his list. Now he has a second chance to be president, and this time you could look at it as going out with a bang. Going out with a bang because you can only be president twice, right? Well, so far, subject to change. You can only be president twice. So if this is his last rodeo, then everything that he has ever had on his list to do, please expect it to be done or for him to attempt to get it done. The president declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border, and he plans to send US troops to help support immigration agents and restrict refugees and asylum. Trump is trying to end, and he did sign the paperwork to end citizenship birthright. We are unclear how that's going to pan out in the future. As you know, it's constitutionally set to be your right. However, he's in a position of power to do it, and he did it. And then there are going to be those who are going to fight him tooth and nail to make sure that that goes away. Let's see if they're successful. He temporarily suspended the U.S. refugee admissions program, pending a review to assess the program's public safety and national security implications. He also pledged to restart a policy that forced asylum seekers to wait over the border in Mexico. Don't come into the US. Stay where you're at. And he is ending the CBP-1 app. I saw a lady at the border. She's been camped out at the border for God knows how long. She's crying her head off this morning because the CBP-1 app has gone black. It no longer exists. So I went and looked up what the CBP-1 app is. And the CBP-1 app is basically an app that was created for individuals who want to come into the United States of America and want to seek asylum. They can go on the app, fill out the necessary paperwork, and wait to be called. So they would be waiting outside of the US anyways, but they're waiting to be called. So essentially what he did was he completely eliminated the avenue that they could use to reach out to US immigrations to say, help, I'm trying to seek asylum in your country. It's really bad for me here. I'm trying to get away, whatever the circumstances may be. That avenue is officially closed. Right? Climate and energy. As expected, Trump signed documents that he said will formally withdraw the US from the Paris Climate Agreement. He made the same move during his first term, but Joe Biden had reversed it, and now he's reversed it back. Additionally, he declared an emergency as he promised to drill, baby, drill, and said that he will eliminate what he calls Biden's electric vehicle mandate. If y'all don't know it, we were leaning towards where electric vehicles were supposed to be a thing of the future, where gas vehicles would eventually be phased out. Now you got to think like this, right? That means we wouldn't need all that gas. If you look 10, 15, 20 years into the future, the majority of the cars you see around you are electric vehicles. We would need electricity. We wouldn't need gas so much, right? But think about the industry that would go under. everybody that works in the oil and gas industry, a lot of people would lose their livelihood. Not only that, I mean, they were doing it for environmental reasons, right? We have to get to a cleaner source of power kind of thing, lessen our footprint on Earth, etc. Trump has halted federal government hiring, accepting the military and other parts of government that were unnamed. He added a freeze on new federal regulations while he builds out his second administration. No more federal employees. We have enough for now. Don't apply for no federal job positions. It's not open right now. Not also, he formally empowered the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, which is being led by Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Yesterday, it was put out. I don't know if y'all saw the meme where Donald Trump is standing there with a sign that says, "Get your ass back in the office." Right. So I followed Elon Musk's argument leading up to this election. And one of the things he was pushing was to end remote employment. So for those of you who used to brag and be like, "Oh, I'm in Turks and Caicos right now with my laptop on the beach. Woke up to this beautiful scenery. What do you do for a living?" "I work for the federal government of the United States of America, but I do remote work." Gone. "Oh, I'm in Jamaica right now, and I'm able to work from here so I can stay a month at a time instead of having to do a weekend and got to fly back and get back to work." Gone. "I'm in the Catskill Mountains. We're going skiing this weekend. I could complete my work from here." Gone. You got to get back to the office. They want you commuting to work, clocking in, sitting at your cubicle or however it's done, whatever your position is, working in a building, and then leaving work when you're supposed to, clocking out, going home. Bring back that type of a workforce. So remote work, done. Trump is rolling back protections for transgender people and terminating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs with the federal government. Both are major shifts for the federal policy that are in line with Donald Trump's campaign trail promises. One order declares that the federal government would recognize only two immutable sexes, male, female. That's it. And they're to be defined based on whether people are born with eggs or born with sperm, rather than on their chromosomes. This is according to details of the upcoming order. Now, under the order, federal prisons and shelters for migrants and rape victims would be segregated by sex, as defined by the order, and federal taxpayers' money could not be used to fund transition services. In other words, that's self-explanatory. A separate order halt the DEI programs, directing the White House to identify and end them within the government. No more DEI programs. No more diversity inclusion programs. In his speech, he said, America is going to go back to the place where someone is hired based on their merits, based on their own intelligence, based on what it is they bring to the table, not based on color of skin, not based on their sex, not based on anything else. If you qualify to do the job, you got the job. And that's what it should be. The problem with that is that wasn't working in the first place. That's why the DEI stuff was invented. So we're back to that again. So a lot of you, although highly qualified you may be, you might find yourself being elbowed out the way because you still can't peel off your black skin. and this company is just not looking for any more ninjas. So they'll freely hire who they feel like without penalties. Nobody could look and be like, damn, you just hire all white people, huh? Yeah, that's what I did. And guess what? They all qualified. That's why they're here. You can't have a lawsuit again saying, oh, this company only hires a certain type and I qualified and they didn't hire me, and take that up the road. It's done for now. Anyhow. So those are the things that are most pressing that were signed yesterday into power, right? Uh, I see a lot of dang in the comment section. I see a lot of wows in the comment section. How does this lower food prices though? LOL, it don't. It don't. See, that's the bottom line, man. The bottom line is people, the average man, the average human who voted, they voted thinking about food prices and gas prices. And I said this from back then. If you're doing so bad or so poorly that an extra 50 cents per gallon on your gas to put into your vehicle to commute is throwing your whole family budget off track, you're not the type of person they're trying to rescue or even think about. You're way at the bottom of the totem pole. If you're worried about bread and bread prices being $1 less, you're looking in the wrong direction. Live on the air with SouFLo, good morning.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, they always say there's no man above the law, but then need to rewrite the one and say, yes, this man is above the law, right? Because it's all personal. Looking for it. It's all personal. So, but you don't say it already, so call it, so I just watch it and embrace yourself, yeah, rough, right? That's all.
Pretty much, bro. Pretty much.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. So, it's one of your thing. Blessings.
All right, my brother.
Yeah.
So basically, what that brother is saying is, this is where we are at this time in history. We're at a place where we can't do nothing. We just have to watch it unfold. We could talk about it, but that's about all that we can do. You know, the horse has already gone through the gate. It is what it is at this point. I saw yesterday a whole lot of, oh, this is one of the things that are trending. Guess who's not getting deported today? Foundational Black Americans. Okay. Guess who was not invited to the table? Foundational Black Americans. You don't have a seat at the table. So whether you're whether you're not getting deported or whatever, you don't have a seat at the table. So you basically are a footstool still that just has to follow along. Now, President Trump gave a good speech during his speech where he said he thanks the Hispanic community and he thanks the Black community for their overwhelming support and helping him to get to the position he is now. And he promises to work with you to make sure that prosperity and happiness and all this stuff, security and all this stuff is felt and is done for everybody, including you, right? But then I see nobody who represents you anywhere in his administration, even at the inaugural ball, even at the, like, there's nobody there for you to speak on your behalf. So I want to know how your representation is going to be. Let's see. Somebody give me a long speech just now that I slid away. A whole lot of y'all are texting in. Why are you texting in? All right, I can't find no one. Okay, here we go. Hang in there, caller. I got it. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning. Morning, family. What going?
Yeah. Speaking about the topic where I speak about
regarding who was invited. You realize, well, I watched a little bit of it yesterday. You don't realize, me not even see none of, like, none of black man them were used to there on him, realizing none of them, me not see them,
And that me I say, bro.
yesterday.
That's exactly what me I say. They
Like,
were
especially like Tim Scott and them, me not see them on there
they
yesterday.
were so gung ho for him, and not one of them got a position. The only person of color I see there was I forgot his name, but his name sounds like Rami Swami or something like that.
No,
And
you
he's
know
out
that,
now.
and that many want to ask you about,
He's
them kick
out
him
now.
out.
Yeah, he's out now. but hold on. I know they kick him out, bro. If apparently the position where them put him in he plans to run for, you hear what them say, he plans to run for office later, and the office he plans to run for later is like a contraindication to the position them put him in now. So if them put him in the position then now, it would disqualify him for the office that he's trying to run for later, and he wants to run for office on his own accord and win that office because it's a bigger thing for him, so he's gracefully stepping away now.
I mean, you say must be want to run for governor for Ohio or something like that. But that not gonna happen.
Something like that. But
But that
yeah,
not gonna happen.
the one little person when them have, well, little color, brown man, Rami Swami or whatever his name, them kick him out too.
Yeah, I realize that.
Ah,
The other guy, Byron, I think he's from Brooklyn. I was so disappointed at him.
you was
Uh,
disappointed. Well, Andre, you was disappointed in him.
Yeah, because it's like they're just having like a puppet, and it's like the man can't see that, like they have just have him as a puppet. You understand what I mean?
And Herschel Walker, them give him one position, them take it back same time too.
It's like
Ah,
you just give them a spot for one look 5 minutes, and then you just kick them out.
yeah,
I tell you. But one more.
you're gone, caller.
No, man. Like
Oh,
I said, one more thing. I think the whole citizen thing when I try end for some reason I think that one never happen. Even though you have it
for
Supreme
for
Court or
birthright
something.
citizenship.
Yeah. I don't think that one never happen. I think them are gonna give him a hard fight for that.
Okay, well, listen to this, right?
Mm.
His executive order made it law now. So the only
No, but based on listening to some of the law them that existing law what I'm saying,
Mm.
it can't just go down like that because
Yes,
Congress something like that.
that's what I'm saying. They're going to give him a fight, but
Oh,
in the meantime, yeah, give him a fight. Remember, say it have to
mm,
go through the process. So, say for instance, your paperwork is caught up, right? And you are wait
mm,
for due process because you caught up in this. By the time they fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, which I'm sure he will fight them all the way, you could be one of the people who got deported because they're not holding nobody until it's worked out. People are going to be suffering in the meantime because people are going to be wrongfully deported in the meantime. And later on, now, under a different president, if it's not turned over under him, they will rescind it and put it back to what the Constitution says. So then
okay.
you're right. So people are going to suffer in the meantime. But while the fight is going on,
Okay.
there will be no protection for those. So you heard who he's calling his immigration czar said. They straight up
Yeah.
asked him, "What are you gonna do about people who have babies and children?" And he said, "They can all get deported together. Take the children with you." Right, and that's the plan.
Well, this is what they vote for. So
Yeah, it's time to watch the movie, bro.
yeah, may have enough popcorn. So
You see it? You're ready.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to. I'm ready to.
I have a boss. I have
All
a
right, my
deal.
brother, manners.
Alright.
Yeah, it's time to watch the movie now. Um, let me see. I'm gonna read a couple more comments, then I'm gonna switch topic because I want to be finished by 10 a.m. and we're 9:34 right now. We don't learn, says Wayne Core. Good and goofy about guess who. Them soon find out the guess what. Uh, um, Mervyn the Point Jamaica Curse says true story. in 6 years, but then people life mash up. Exactly. And they told us this during the campaign trail that he was going to do that and they were going to fight him, but in the process of them fighting him, because of how he has stacked the different houses. Remember, I know it laid out already where the Republican Party is now dominant in every aspect of government. So if Trump got a, oh, we'll fight you till we get to this level, guess who is going to approve or disapprove it at that level? His people. Okay, we'll fight it past that level to the next higher level. Guess who is at the next higher level? His people. Well, we're going all the way to the top. Guess who is at the top? His people. So it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a long fight, but people are going to suffer in the process. It'll be sad to be one of those people who are wrongfully deported, and then you're sitting in some country you've never been to before, and suddenly you hear, well, you were wrongfully deported. You know, God is the top, Sonia Brooks. God is the top, not in this country. Apparently not. But hey, I understand what you're saying. Anyhow, man, we've exhausted the Trump topic. You know now what's going on. The last topic I have for this morning, talking to you about. So we recapped the inauguration. We talked about the preacher. We talked about Elon Musk's salute. We talked about Trump's executive orders. We talked about Melania's wardrobe and her interaction with Donald Trump, her husband. We talked about all that stuff. And now we shall talk about the pastor who was gunned down in Jamaica. So this is where we are going to carry out the morning, right? A slain pastor who was a Don. For those of you who are in the chat room, I know you've seen the video. It's horrible. Somebody give pastor one in the head and leave him out in the middle of the streets. Kind of messed up way for a godly man to die, right? It would leave everybody saying stuff like, my God, I'm a man who serve God this. It's not a man where I encourage you to change your life and come church and worship and these kind of things. This. And what could have happened also? Well, the violent past of slain pastor Michael Spencer came full circle last Saturday night when his life was cut short by gunmen in Old Harbor, St. Catherine. If you look at our icon this morning, that is who you will see. That's the pastor. If you ask me, pastor kind of look like him. I get dressed to go and dance still, but I'm old school when it comes to religion, so I don't know. Spencer is 41 years old. He was once a feared Don from Garden Pen, but he had traded his life of crime for the pulpit, becoming a minister who passionately spread the gospel to those who were still entrenched in the underworld. His grieving widow, Apostle Martha Spencer, is convinced that his brutal killing is connected to his dark history. I believe his impasse come back to him, you know. Maybe as somebody who will know him just buck him and decide to unalive him because he wasn't killed because of what he was doing presently. I don't know, because him no mix up or anything, and him friend them glad that him change his life. Them respect him, and my husband was always interceding for gunmen because he was like them before. In a display of faith and forgiveness, Apostle Spencer, his wife, is calling for her husband's killer to give your life to God. Speak it, she better careful, I know she next, but give your life to God. Him did I say give your life to God, and man splash him out. You better be careful, I know you next. One thing about them shooting here today, you could have God little more. You know, see them guys going to church go kill people. You could have God little more. Them no want hear nothing about that, and that don't stop no bullet. So you better make sure that you take yourself to somewhere safe. But you could have, I hope you give your life to God. Speaking from her Old Harbor Glades home yesterday, the grief-stricken widow said, I pray that no one will trouble him, because the Bible says all vengeance belongs to God, and maybe the killer will be a next pastor or an apostle. So she even a prayer said nobody harms the man that killed her husband. You see, that's a part of religion when me can't deal with neither. Because if you harm my wife, my prayer now go sound so. And me no want no woman where if a man harm me, so your prayer sounds so neither. It sound like you look the man to me. Make it up from a dead self and box out your rotted. I'm sorry, but I don't believe in domestic violence in life, but I might give a dopey box. How way over here pray for the man will kill me for? Eh? Where I pray for the man will kill me for? She a pray say nobody harm him and praying that he turns his life over to God and he could be the next pastor. Yeah, me Wayne Core, me not that neither. I'm not a turn the other cheek kind of guy. I'm not. And I know a lot of people, and I know the politically correct thing to say is, well, you know, it's for your own good, because when you don't forgive, you walk around with this baggage, and it's, you know, you can't heal. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Sorry. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, SouFLo.
Morning, family. What going?
They are in the cool.
In the cool. Stay warm here, sir.
But on the topic, I see if someone feel, you know, if something happen to me, but I want to have a family member, then I forgive nobody.
Yeah, don't forgive nobody for my behalf, and don't tell nobody about this is what he would have wanted. May I make the world know now, say that no one.
Somebody feel about Bolt and Jean. We get shot in Texas. But the police woman go the wrong door.
Yeah.
And him brother, I talk about give her a hug.
And I hug her up in a court.
Yeah, man, them thing that burn me.
Yeah, me too, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me never like that.
Yeah, me too. But at least take off the shoes and fling it or something.
Yeah, don't nobody talk about for you hug nobody.
Yeah, don't do that for me. You do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right, so.
Manners here, bro.
Yeah.
I would that say I'm spiteful bad. Marvin the point Jamaica curse say, I'm not. Me spiteful bad. Yeah, me too. God have to deal with me when we get to the other lifetime after that, cause for this one, I war me one. Yeah, war them for me. If me not there for war them, dash them away for me. Make them come meet me which part wherever me gone, so me can war them this so. Since you're not ready to come there yet. But don't turn up here come talk about this is what he would have wanted. I'm letting it be known right now. This is not what me want. I don't want you to forgive anybody that do harm to me. That's why I'm not advocate for harm to nobody. But I don't want nobody come talk about them I pray for and they could be the next. But nah. Chop off the head off of that snake there. That's my take on it. Anyhow. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a -3 we have here, but it's still ready. It's a good one for this time of the year. So thanks. All right, right. But it's your point. Well, in the office minutes, so I'm not worried.
You're warm. All right.
So you're the drama now. You know, say, if you compare Islam, it's a very consequent religion. It's a thief with the right and the chop you have. If you go to Judaism, back to the ancient days, this eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing for Moses. So now you realize now, say Christianity was designed to make the black man a more obedient slave. So you never have to do anything to him. That level of forgiveness must be there. So
no matter what them do,
it's a plan.
Yeah.
It's, you have to understand it was designed for that.
Yeah.
Because of the atrocities of Europe in that region, many European kings even became Christian because that was their way of redeeming themselves. They used to pay literally money for their sins to be, and nullified. So it's a part of the thing. It has nothing to do with Joshua, That Jesus and Joshua are two different guys.
Two different guys.
Yeah, exactly. Because remember, Joshua was not a Christian. And Christ himself, the Christ was not a Christian. It's just something people designed to keep the Christian slave a more obedient slave. And when I want to make a plan, we still have to go back to Master and tell Master, you know, the slow and ready one repatriate to back track. You know, the SouFLoTV have a plan to make black people get welfare. SouFLoTV have a plan where going to make black people can think about their children next generation. There's someone to deal with book period that. So that's a part of the design. Right? And this has nothing to do. I don't want any Christian who are listening feel agitated if they should, but it's just for us to reflect again and check yourself. And know say a ism and a schisms. And we should never let that divide us. Whether Biden or the Trump or any, we don't let anything to divide us as black people, because at the end of the day, we have to focus on our thing. As I said, we didn't have any representative there. At the table. Yeah, so that's a lot. But I want to point out something to you. You know, what Elon Musk did, he could get 15 years in Germany just like Simon, do you know?
In Germany?
You never know that.
No, I didn't know that.
You know, yes.
I didn't know that.
You can't deny the Holocaust. And if you push up your hand like that, you're in a big trouble.
But in the US, he's free to do it.
Yeah, it's referred to as the Hitler greeting, you know, like Hitler salute. You know,
absolutely.
You know, so so don't, you know, so for the people who don't know what it means, I'm just saying, he being originally from South Africa and associated with apartheid.
Right.
I'm not, I don't want them to take on your channel, but I want to add something with, we don't want you to say. I want somebody, when I'm not going to do your say it.
All right.
Have a night, have an Irish day, you remember that?
Manners and respect him.
No, love.
Alright, so. Me don't want to say it neither, but I could have said more on it too, but I don't want to. My audience is intelligent enough to read between the lines and understand what going on there, so with that salute there and all that. Now, in a display of faith and forgiveness, back to this story, we have 10 minutes left. Apostle Spencer is calling for her husband's killer to give his life to God. Speaking from her Old Harbor Glades home yesterday, the grief-stricken widow said, I pray that no one will trouble him because the Bible says all vengeance belongs to God, and maybe the killer will be the next pastor or apostle. I know that Jesus Christ of Nazareth loves the killer with an everlasting love, but the sin of killing, God don't have anything to do with that. So let's take this one. Missed call. Live on the air with SouFLoTV. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. So far, I have only this to say. How do we know that it's not her that set it up?
We don't know. Interestingly, we don't know. The person just said that I'm gone, just so. Who is? We don't know. But let me finish out this first. She said, I know that Jesus Christ of Nazareth loved the killer with an everlasting love. But the sin of killing, God don't have anything to do with that. My greatest wish is for the killer to get saved and come and taste and see that God is good. Taste and see that God is good. Police reports are that I don't know, I not talk bad about her, but she sound like she love bad man. Police reports are that about 8 p.m. on Saturday, Spencer, who was the pastor of Overflow Anointing Pentecostal Gospel in Old Harbor, I'm telling about them church there with them name there, them long name there. If it's not Jesus Christ, if it's not Firstborn or one of them soft name, one of them direct name, the short name there, I always look on them skeptical. So anyway, police reports that about 8 p.m. on Saturday, Spencer, who was the pastor of Overflow Anointing Pentecostal Gospel in Old Harbor, was doing business at his stall in the town along West Street when he was pounced upon by two men who shot him repeatedly. I was told that he was shot once in the head. And the video I have of him is a head wound and him bleeding out from the head wound. The pastor was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. It never matters how many shots he gets and all that. You know, people love them story there when its story gets salacious. I've told the audience this before. So you will hear one vlogger say, about 14 shot them give me now. And then somebody said he only got shot twice. And then the people them said, you know, like the one that went only get twice. I want to hear the one that went get shot 14 times. 49 foot, 2 knee them broke. 79 shoulder, 99 face. One, you know, if you look at that, it kind of looks like we are the sick ones. We are the sick ones. The attackers fled the scene, but Apostle Spencer prays that they will run into God, embrace. This woman here, I pray for the man to come see and taste. And then she I pray for them to run into God's embrace. She now pray for them to get catch by police. She now pray for them for the law be dealt with them at the fullest extent of the law. She now pray for them to run up in a police. Yeah, pray for them to run into God's embrace. Me feel like she like them kind of certain kind of man still. Her late husband had openly testified about his own criminal past. Him testified to gunman that he was a former gunman. And him even called the crew that him used to be into. Him never hide nothing. And him tell gunmen, say, if God can save him, he can save them too. Him say from him get the shot, something shift in his life, and he was not interested in even going anywhere anymore. So that means him get gunshot before, and the gunshot have a way of changing your life, you know. Yeah, when somebody is after you enough to give you a gunshot, remember them never give you a gunshot just because I'm gonna toops you a little bit with it. Anybody was shot you or kill them, did I try to kill you? So apparently somebody was after his life before, and this drove him to the church. Something shifted in his life and he was not interested in going there anymore. He said something different had taken over his body. When him start come church, I minister and I talk to him, she said. The late pastor survived a gunshot wound to the face before. An incident described as a turning point in his life. All right. By 2021, he was ordained as a pastor and he began ministering to the very people he once stood among in these streets. The streets never forget, my friend. Karma never forget, and the streets never forget. My husband is a farmer, Don, from Garden Pen, and he testified about that. It wasn't something that him did hold on. I was a farmer, bad girl too, myself. So I say. But him changed my life from 2019, and he was ordained as a pastor in 2021. Him filled with the Holy Ghost and was all over, even at street meetings, spreading the gospel, she said. On the day of his death, Spencer spent the afternoon renovating his church. He returned home around 5 p.m. and he told his wife, he said he was going to their stall to make a few sales, hoping to repay a loan. 2 hours later, she received a devastating call. Rushing to the scene, she was met with the heart-wrenching sight of her husband's body laying there bleeding out. I saw him laying there flat on his belly, looking lifeless, she recalled, her voice cracking, and I fainted right there. Now, meanwhile, hold on there. Meanwhile, reflecting on their 5 years of marriage, Spencer described her late husband as the best man ever and her soulmate. I've been through men, the apostle said, so I know what I'm saying. He was my everything and a great father. He was a changed man, and everyone knew it. Though the pastor's death was violent, she believed that God had a hand at work. Me not glad say my husband dead, but if the gunshot did miss him and him not dead, who knows if him wouldn't turn back and go look for the people them who shot him. She said, so God just make it connect and took his son home. Boy, mama, the undertone of me I try Hanglar reasoning. The undertone of her sounds like, you know, she not too mind. She not too mind. I mean, may I read more? Maybe may I read too far into this the wrong way? But is it me alone, or that one here sound kind of funny? That one here sound kind of funny. Hold on there. Our last call for the morning. Live on the air with SouFlo. Good morning.
Good morning, SouFlo.
Good morning, family. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. SouFlo, just listen. You see that girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? She get, Desmond Valentine's?
Yes.
Desmond Valentine's?
Yeah, man.
That's
original gold teeth, front teeth, and gargan. Well, wait,
yeah, later, SouFlo.
Wait, no, man, you have to. Oh God, you have to give it a little bit more than that, man. She get. I saw. Yeah, there's one Valentine original gold teeth, front teeth, gun gargan, gun pan teeth, brush teeth with toothpaste, mouth full of gun, all these things and done. Me don't know what that did supposed to mean, but I guess. Now I'm left in more mystery than before. Sometimes the past will always affect the future. Not sometimes, my friend, all the time. Your past will always affect your future, all the time. That's why I'm trying to tell people, say, don't do nothing where you can't rub out. Don't do nothing that will follow you around with regrets for the rest of your life. Because see, you do something sometime and you feel like, say, boy, nobody saw and I'm getting away with. You know, and them come back to haunt you later, or, you know, come back to be very much a part of your future at a time when you least expect it. I've said this before, I'll say it again. You can run to church all you want to, but karma is not religious. Karma is not a respecter of anybody's religion, my friend. Your religious findings is between you and who you deem to be God and your personal relationship with the Creator as you see fit to worship. That's how religion is. Karma don't have nothing to do with that. Understand? So be good. And if you can't be good, my granny said, be careful, but it's best to be good. As best as you can be. Her argument to me sound like she not too mind say her husband dead still. I'm a kind of person that read into words probably deeper than I should, but I've never been wrong. I shouldn't say I've never been wrong. I've been wrong. But I've rarely been wrong. Something I want to figure out why this man dead actually. Now the caller that called earlier and said, how do we know it's not she do it? Anything is possible. I don't want to add insult to injury, pour salt into a wound, but we are living in a time where spouses get clipped because, you know, the other spouse finds somebody new they want to build with and move on with, and them can't do it in a better way, or life insurance, money, or whatever the case may be. So we don't know. We'll just keep looking and keep speculating, and then we'll see what comes out of this. The woman sound like she got run though. She said she want the gunman to come and taste and see and taste. However, come taste, mama. Come see and come taste, and then you want him to run into God's embrace. Those words are too romantic for me. For somebody who just kill your husband, who you say is your everything. Please don't do that for me. If this ever happen, God forbid, not do that for me. Nobody not do that for my behalf. I want everybody remember say SouFlo want people for dead. That I want to remember. We're going to leave this panda note this morning, right? Manners and respect to each and every one of you tuning in this morning. We're cutting it out at 10 a.m. Big up on yourself. I thank you. Have a wonderful day. Be good, like Miss Ruby said. And if you can't be good, be careful, but it's best to be good. As Clevie said, I will see you tomorrow if God spare me life. Right here. I'm not in control, God is. So if God spare me life, see you tomorrow. Right, so. All right. Continue to hit the thumbs up button for me. Continue to share the video. and these things help the videos to trend, so more people will come over here and join us. We have a healthy, sizable family in Green Names right now. We can get more. And also, I have a little surprise coming, but we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to do it. All right? One love. I'm out. Peace.